with side hustles. One of my favorite things. I don't even know if I have a side hustle anymore because they've all flourished into businesses, which is hopefully the ultimate goal. So this is a show, if you have first time here, Millionaires are Made is a show built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something that you don't, and that everyone can teach you something new. So we grabbed 3 awesome guests from 3 various backgrounds, all of which I just met about 15 minutes ago. I try to eliminate as much bias as possible. Hopefully some of our tips will be conflicting and contradictory so that wherever you are in your life or in your world, you can take something from this, learn, and implement it. This episode, we have a sponsor. Our sponsor is Alliances. It's an awesome networking group based out of Arizona, but it is global nationwide. So if you want to join and meet other small business owners, entrepreneurs, or just general financial health professionals, go to alliances.com and check them out. Say hi. Let them know that you heard of them from Millionaires Are Made. And next up is if you want to be a guest, please sign up. Please sign up. We love guests. We need guests. They're the best things in the world. www.millionairesaremade.com. Come be a guest. If you want to be a sponsor, it's freaking cheap. We like to have everything here super simple, super easy, and very affordable. So if you're a small business or you have a little side hustle that you would like to sponsor an episode, let us know. Again, go to Millionaires Are Made, sign up there. And if you have ideas for topics, we are running low. We're going to reuse some of them, but if you think side hustles are boring or if you think they're amazing, please let us know so we can get 3 other guests if it's an awesome topic, or if it's something nobody cares about, we'll move on. But if you have topic ideas, anything, we have all 6 aspects of health: social, financial, physical, mental, intellectual, and spiritual. So if you have any ideas, please share them with us. We would love to use them and build a show out of it. All right. One last order of business before we get into the gritty. If you're having any issues or questions with financial health, any kind of health, feel free to always sign up. We do have free coaching calls. If you like any of the tips of our guests, please connect with them. We will share their links to their Instagrams, their websites, their bios as they come on. If you don't see that or missed it somehow, contact us. Let us know. Comment on this episode. Send us a message. We'll get you all their contact info so you can go talk to them and hang out with them. So yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to have a great time. I'm super excited. I'm pretty jazzed. Someone gave me coffee. It was fun. Still drinking it. And if you love this episode and you love what we do, free knowledge for the world from everyone in the world, please make sure to like, subscribe, share, like on the YouTube, our Facebook, Twitch, wherever you're watching it, like, subscribe, share it, share our tips, follow our stuff. Really, really helpful so we can keep doing this. And without further ado, I'm going to give you a little tip on how to improve your financial health with a side hustle. In fact, I pretty much paid for most of my college with this. Outside of what my parents helped me with and the billions of scholarships that I had, there was still a bill for me to pay. And back then was much more popular than now, but I used a thing called Craigslist. If you haven't heard of it, it's essentially the original Facebook marketplace. So my specialty and my tip is to find a niche and focus on that. My niche was, oh man, this is going to age me, microwaves, VCRs, and couches. So between Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Goodwill, and ARC thrift stores, I would find couches for $20 to $25 and sell them for $100 to $150. And so you have to learn how to post ads. That was important. Make my ad look better than the ad I just bought it from for $20. But Craigslist was a great idea. Facebook Marketplace, eBay, all these markets where you can find things that people don't care as much about or don't value and get them just cheap. And as long as you know the market value for that product, you can sell it for more, have a little side hustle, spend an hour or 2 a day, and go make an extra couple $100 a day. If you have any questions on that, it's in my blog. You can ask us about it. We'll share the link to the blog here in just a second. But it's time to pull our first guest out and see what they have to say about side hustles. Hey, Krista, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am doing amazing. Can you answer me a question? Who are you?
So I am a QuickBooks geek. I am a single mom of 2 now grown children. And Yeah, I love bookkeeping.
Love bookkeeping. Oh, that is something I don't hear every day, but I like it. Cool. So yeah, Chris's link just got posted up. Moneymakingmamas.com. Go check her out if you also love bookkeeping or if you want to know anyone that loves bookkeeping. Hey, Krista, if I wanted to improve my financial health with a side hustle, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
I would say to make sure that you're making a profit, not just sales.
Okay.
One of the biggest issues that people do.
So that sounds important. Can you tell us why or how?
So if you don't know how much you're making and also how much it's costing you to make that, I worked with a recent business owner and it was his side hustle. And he was like, yeah, I'm doing this for extra money. But he said, well, yeah, you haven't priced it right. Let's look at what it's costing you. And it turns out it was costing him twice as much as what he was selling it for because he didn't know how to track his numbers to figure it out.
Dang. Well, that doesn't sound like it was very good.
No, he would have made more money going to the beach and not doing anything.
Oh, that sounds like what I should be doing right now. Where on your life journey did you learn this tip? Did you have an issue with cash flow and profit?
I did. I became a single mom after I lost my husband to cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And I always given, he was the breadwinner and took care of all the money. And all of a sudden he was gone and I didn't know how to do it. And I realized that we were in the hole and we were cash flow negative and I had to figure it out real quick and take care of my kids. So that's how this came to be.
How did you end up figuring it out?
Tracking. You have to track. You really do need to know what money's coming in, on what basis, and where it's going. All of it, every penny. And then spend it on paper first. You spend it on paper first and give your money a plan, then you don't end up wondering where it went.
Spend it on paper first. Can you elaborate just a touch on that?
So you sit there, and I call it having a money date, and you know what you have coming in, and then you know your bills. You know every month your mortgage or your rent is the same. You know there are certain things if you have a car payment, but you know certain things are the same, your cable payment. And then you have an estimate, an idea of what other things are, like your electric bill, your grocery bill, things like that. And you spend it all down. What I did, I even put envelopes. I used the envelope system at first, and I put on each envelope how much I needed in that envelope. And then I would fill, as money came in, I filled my envelopes. And I spent it down on paper first so that it didn't just slip through my fingers.
The envelope system, I believe that's a Dave Ramsey technique, isn't it?
Oh, it's way older than Dave Ramsey. Right. He's just adapted.
He just rebranded
it. I grew up. He rebranded it. I grew up with a single mom, and we did it way back. I'm going to age myself in the 70s, the early 70s.
So you're about 29. Cool, perfect. All right.
Yes, plus shipping and
handling. I like that. All right. So make sure that if you're starting the side hustle, you actually do the numbers beforehand, and you make sure that there is a profit. And the cash flow may be great, but you have to make sure that whatever you're selling, service, time, or product, it's important to list all your costs. And that's one thing that I always see when I coach small business owners is they always forget, or even consumers. They're like, you're making $50,000 a year, you're fine. They don't realize it's $48,000 in expenses, lighting, heating. I mean, all these tiny little things, insurance, taxes, tax professionals, lawyers, legal. I mean, there's a lot to it. So say that again.
Advertising.
Yeah, so it's hard. I mean, obviously, we're going to recommend here to hire a bookkeeper or a CPA to help you with your books. But if you can't, and you're doing it on your own, make sure you list every freaking expense and make sure that you are getting a profit for each sale, or at least for each month or hour worked if it's a service, whatever it is. Got to make sure you're attaining profit, and the cash flow is less important. Sound good?
Yes, always be profitable.
Always be profitable. Awesome, Crystal. Well, thanks for that piece of advice. We're going to put you backstage, and we're going to move on to Michael. Hello, Michael. Who are you?
Well, how many fingers do we have? I'm a Christian, father of 3, husband, a former IT guy, author. I have 19 books out there on Amazon. coach, including life coaching, business coaching, habit coaching. And I have my own business, book advertising business called Resurrecting Books.
All right. Well, that was a loaded question. A link just got shared down below if you want to connect with Michael. Michael, if I wanted to improve my financial health with a side hustle, what piece of advice would you give me?
If you want to be successful in the long run, you need to do your side hustle in a sweet spot of market demand, your skills, and your passion. Because if one of these factors is missing, well, you may be successful in the short run, not in the long run.
All right. Oh, can you repeat those three? Nice and
Yes,
clear
of
so
course.
everyone.
The sweet spot of your skills, passion, and market demand.
Skills, passion, market demand. All right. So let's delve into that just a tiny bit. If you're starting a side hustle, you must have passion. Can you elaborate on that, Michael?
Yes, because it's like you are doing the same thing you're doing in your day job, and it's just, a hurdle. One more thing you have to do. So yes, you can be successful. You have skills. There is a demand for your skills, but in the end, it's like more work. Nothing funny. Yeah, if you miss on skills, then you can only catch those clients who are, discount seekers. They can deal with low quality because of your low skills, or maybe with longer time of delivery. But those are the worst customers in the end. So it's not fun to be in that niche of the market. And if there is no demand, sorry, nobody will pay you, or they will pay you once in a blue moon. I play a very niche collectible card game, Dark Eden. Yeah, nobody heard about that ever.
Sure.
But I was able to make like maybe $500 in 3 years with it. Yeah, because there was no market demand for that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So obviously I'm going to touch on that passion because that's a huge one. I mean, most people that are trying to start a side hustle already have some sort of income, hopefully. Otherwise, it's not a side hustle. That's going to be your main hustle. But if you go to a 9 to 5, I mean, Michael's 100% right. You go home after a long day at work, the last thing you want to do is be like, let's go work another 2 hours. So it's got to be something that you're passionate about, or at least something that drives enough profit, like Chris has said, that it makes you passionate about it because you want that money in order to quit your day job is typically the normal trajectory. But yeah, having a little passion, having a little extra that you want to do is always a good idea. Michael, where in your life journey did you learn this? Where'd you gather this advice?
Well, I learned that by practice. I've been, or rather had been, side hustling. I quit my job in 2022 for 10 years. So I tried few things, and I succeeded mostly in the sweet spot of those three. So as a self-published author, I love numbers. I was database administrator in my day job, and I advertised my own books. So I had the skills for that. So that sweet spot allowed me to create my business, which I have now.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, Michael, thank you so much. I'm going to bring out our next guest here, but that was a great piece of advice. Thank you. Hey, Sarah, how you doing?
Hey, hello.
Who are you?
Oh, man, so many things. I'll move through them quick and in no particular order, but I've been debt-free twice. Now we find ourselves in the top 25% of Americans for net worth. I help people feel confident, secure, safe in their money without shame, guilt, or restriction. We are full-time RVers traveling the United States now, which is super fun. Owner of multiple businesses, serial entrepreneur here.
Nice.
Podcast host. I'm also a wife and a mom. So lots of different areas, lots of different things.
Shout out your podcast real quick.
Oh, it's called He Brought the D.
He brought the D. So if you're done with all the Millionaires Are Made episodes and you still need more podcasts, go check out He Brought the D.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah. If I wanted to improve my financial health with a side hustle, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Know the purpose of it. Really know exactly what you're using that income for.
Know what you're using that income for. So let's just say I'm a woodworker and I create awesome desks. I like to create desks and sell them. If you want to make it a side hustle, you're saying make sure you have a purpose like a vacation or a house or something for that side hustle, correct?
Yeah, I think I see so many people that take up these side hustles because they need more money. They don't feel like they've got enough, quote unquote, enough, right? And they've got all these goals that they're trying to work towards. So they start this side hustle, but guess what happens? No progress is being made because life always happens, right? And they don't have a good plan. What it really comes down to is a good plan, which Krista mentioned. But if you know the purpose and what you're using that income for from your side hustle, you're going to start to see progress happening. You're going to be reaching those goals that you set. Things are going to start to feel a lot better in your financial life.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, so where on your journey, how did you learn this? When did the ding ding happen?
If we had all day, I wouldn't be done with this story, honestly.
Oh boy. Well, we got like 2 minutes.
Well, I'll just say I grew up in a household where my dad had multiple businesses because there was never enough money, right? And so he was always starting another business. I became, a young adult, and guess what kind of habits I jumped into? Business after business after business, because I didn't have a solid plan in place, right? And I just felt like I was starting these side hustles, right, to make more money, to start reaching more of these goals, to become debt free, to have more money in savings. And what was happening is my time was getting divided. No more money was coming in. I didn't have a real solid plan on what I was doing with it. And it caused so much more stress. And I'm like, this is the opposite of what this was supposed to do for me. Right. And so I really had these side hustles for the wrong reasons. And that's because I didn't have a plan and I didn't know exactly what I was doing with the money. I didn't have it defined.
So now if you were to start a side hustle, what would be like the couple first steps to get that defined?
So one is really knowing what it is that you're working towards, right? So if you're really working on becoming debt free, then what's that first debt? How much extra a month do you want to put towards it? What does the side hustle, what do you want to bring in to put towards that debt? If you're growing your savings account, same thing. Hey, I have this goal of putting $1,000 a month into my savings account. You are defining it and you're saying, okay, this is what my side hustle is doing. So that money is going directly into my savings account because that's what it's for. You're putting those parameters on it. Truth is, life is going to happen. Stuff is going to come your way that's unexpected. But if you continue to do and follow that path, and be really diligent and intentional with what it is that you set out to do, you're going to be able to handle those things that life throws. Murphy showing up at your door much easier and with less stress because you're still focusing and you're still hitting those goals that you set out to do.
Awesome. Very cool. Great advice. Thank you so much, Sarah. Mm-hmm. You ready to move on to the next segment of the show? Let's bring Michael and Krista back out. Hey guys, let's have a little discussion. Krista, can you quickly refresh what your tip was?
I say if you get comfy with the F words, so finances, so that you know that you're making a profit, that's the whole, why be in a side hustle if you're not actually making a profit?
Michael, what are your thoughts?
I agree at least 99% with it. I started my businesses on a shoestring. Like I published my first book for $5. That's how much I spent. At the beginning, I bartered for everything, for editing and so on. So I kept the cost very low. I had no clue what's the potential of the earnings. That's why I kept the cost low. And That's a very good idea. Then if you operate that way, you have this surplus, and that's the whole idea of starting a side hustle. You don't start it to be more miserable in life. Rather, well, I started for freedom. Yeah? And if you are spending money and getting into debt, well, that's not freedom.
Very true. Very true. Sarah, what are your thoughts?
I cannot agree more, honestly. I work with so many people that have started side hustles. And just like you mentioned, Krista, they're like, hey, I'm making this money. But when we really get down to the numbers, they're not making money on it. It's costing them more. And so, knowing how to price, knowing what your numbers are, so you are in fact making a profit, key piece of advice, Sarah. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, let's break it down. If you're not making a profit, it's not really a side hustle. It's more of a hobby. I mean, if you're losing money on it, it's entertainment or a hobby or, something fun to do in your free time. If it's going to be a side hustle, it's built to increase your bank account. And if you're losing money on it and it's not profitable, then that obviously is not going to happen. Michael, do you want to refresh us what your tip was real quick?
Yeah, so if you start in a sweet spot of your passion, skills, and market demand, so you can keep it for the long run, because otherwise I would suspect that Sarah started all those side hustle businesses because there weren't in this sweet spot, so she was looking something else and something else. But if you're passionate about it, if you know what to do, so you can charge more, and if there is a demand for it, so you don't spend half of your time chasing for customers, you are in a great starting point.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. And Sarah, what are your thoughts?
I agree with the skills piece of that, because when you're naturally good at something, it does become a little bit easier, right? You're not learning something new. For a lot of people learning a new business, right? There's a lot of new things to learn. So if you're already starting off this side hustle, right, with a skill that you've got, I think that makes it a little bit easier. I disagree on the passion part a little bit. I think that we need to keep some of our passions just to not as a money-making venture, but to bring a little bit of joy into our lives, right? Because we don't want to take our passion and turn it into something that could potentially cause more stress for us, right? We need those stress relievers, not stress creators. So I don't necessarily agree with the passion part, but the skills part, 100%.
I like the passion part. I mean, I turn almost everything I do into some sort of money. I mean, I'm in the Virgin Islands now trying to play some soccer and earn some money that I've never done in my life. And it's a passion. But, I mean, I understand that thought too. Having something that you can just decompress and get away from everything is also nice. So each one can choose their own path.
Yeah, you have to turn everything you are passionate about into a business. But if you're starting a side hustle, then you need that element of, I want to do it. Because without it, you will give up. And why spend 1 year or 2 years and then, well, you got some skills and some money, but in the end, you are in the same starting point.
Yeah, two different thoughts. I like it. Sarah, what was your tip? Can you refresh us?
Yeah, so my tip was really knowing the purpose of your side hustle, or, knowing exactly how you're going to be using that income from your side hustle.
Krista, thoughts?
Oh yeah, make a plan. Don't just make money and not know where it's going to go. Give it a job. Have a plan of where that money is going to go, so that you feel why spend the extra time when you could be relaxing? If you're going to go after a regular job and then go and work more, at least let it get you somewhere. And if you don't have a plan for it, you're not going to get any traction. So I absolutely agree with that. You need to know what your intention is. And even now, I mean, I have a side hustle and it's specific to my next goal, because I have a plan for my regular money. So I have a side hustle for my extra goal.
Cool. I like that. Yeah, that's smart. Make sure you plan it out and focus on that. Michael, what are your thoughts?
My experience is totally opposite. Well, I had a hazy purpose for my side hustle. I will get freedom and get out of the shackles of the day job. my corporate job and spend more time with family and have more or rather less stress around financial issues, I was just setting aside all the money I had. Well, but I was in a position that my day job income was enough to sustain us. Yeah, so I didn't really need that side hustle income. So I just stored it away for like half a year, and then opportunity can happen. For us, it was we bought our first house because I had the money, so we could contribute to our mortgage, like to the cent. I spent all my side hustle money on that mortgage contribution, and now we have a home.
I love it. Good work. Great stuff. All right, guys. We have the best part of the show to do now. We have to come up with a daily challenge that costs $0, takes less than 5 minutes, and is available to be done by anyone in the world from Kathmandu to Fiji. Any suggestions?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Write it down. Every day you can take 5 minutes. It's called 5-minute bookkeeping. And this is how I start the people that work with me when they get overwhelmed. If we just track each day for 5 minutes where your money went.
Okay.
That's it. That can be on a piece of paper with a pencil. It can be on a spreadsheet if you've got that. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just write it down and know where your money's going.
Okay, I like that. I mean, there's also apps that do that too. So if you do use an app like Mint or something like that, it'll be easy.
Mint is gone.
Mint is what?
Mint is gone. Mint is gone.
Oh, what is it now?
It's Intuit bought
right.
out, and so Mint is gone.
All right, Michael, what are your thoughts?
Jim Rohn said that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, but you can increase this average by spending a few minutes with someone else virtually. So you want to start a side hustle? Get involved in the communities that are around this topic. You will meet new people. You will rub off some mindset from them. Now, in this world, it's free. You have access to anybody in the world via social media, via YouTube, and so on. So it's free education, but it's also free mindset transformation because they are further in that path than you.
Awesome. Sarah, you have any thoughts for our daily challenge?
Yeah, I would love to have everyone write down 1 or 2 things every single day, things that you're working towards, things that you want. It can be materialistic, it can be emotions, it can be feelings, it can be places you want to visit, anything. Write down what it is that you want. Get dreaming about your life again. And just so many people don't dream about life and don't think about their future really. So take a few minutes every day and just write down something that you want. Something that you want doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but give yourself that gift of dreaming about your life.
All right. I think I have our daily challenge. So we will spend, less than 5 minutes. So you'll write down what you spent money on. And this is going to be, Krista, do you recommend doing like rent and utilities and breaking it down? Or is that too complicated where it's just like whatever disposable?
Whatever the expenses were that day, write them down. From stopping at 7-Eleven to getting gas to stopping at Dunkin' Chunks. Whatever it is, wherever your money went, write it down that day. 5 minutes.
All right. Then we're going to write down a passion and a skill. Hopefully you have 7 skills for the next week. A passion and a skill that you have every day. It's got to change. We all got 7 passions. We all got 7 skills. And then the last thing is going to be set a financial goal. Let's get more into that. Sarah, help me with that one. Set a financial goal or a dream, but something that you can do every day that would change.
Mm-hmm. So it could be, hey, I want to vacation to such and such. right? Could be, I want to put X amount of dollars in my, I call it a peace of mind fund, not an emergency fund. So it could be, I want to save all my $5 bills for the next week.
Okay. Set a financial goal like in a specific area. So one day you'll have, let's set, my goal is to get $500 for this vacation. The next day we'll set a goal for, reducing our coffee expenditure by 10%. Something like that. 7 goals that over the next 6 months we can all achieve. Does that sound fair to everyone?
Perfect.
So we'll write down what we spend our money on, so we're kind of keeping track. We'll write down our passion and skill that kind of makes us start thinking about that side hustle. And then we'll set goals like, shit, I need to make some money for this vacation. That'll also help us start thinking about side hustles. I like it. Yeah, if you haven't started a side hustle or you're planning to, this is an epic challenge for you. This will really get your mind in the right set. Start thinking about where you're spending your money now. Think about where you want your money to go. And think about your passion and skill in order for you to go create your side hustle. I love it. Any last tips, guys? Any last comments before we wrap this show up?
I just say this is such a dynamic group, and you guys have brought some really interesting, even for me, I just learned a lot being here. So thank you.
I love it. That's beautiful. Thank you, Krista. Yeah, I love just getting everyone has something to teach. Hey, guys, thank you so much. We're going to wrap this up, and thanks for being on Millionaires Are Made today.
Thanks for.
All right, we've got ourselves an awesome daily challenge. I hope you enjoyed today's episode on how to improve your financial health through side hustles. One of my favorite things. I side hustle all day, every day. Our daily challenge is take less than 5 minutes. It's free, and anyone in the world can do it. Write down what you spent money on that day. Write down everything you can think of. Just look at it, gaze, and wonder, is that really where I want to be spending my money? Then we're going to make you write down a passion in your life. Everyone, for the next week, we got 7 passions. You either like to watch comedy shows or you like to go for walks. But write it down so it's in your head and you can think about it. Next step is going to write down a skill you have. I hope everyone's got 7 skills, or at least is learning and working to have 7 skills. Maybe you're a great social media marketer. Maybe you're really good at opening doors. Cool. We need door openers in this world. And then we're going to set a financial goal. So every day you're going to have to think of a vacation fund or limiting your coffee expense or something, a goal that you have financially that you either want to start a side hustle to achieve or you want to save money in order to fund your side hustle. But let's think of that every day. Hopefully you guys will join us. We'll be tagging you and posting every day on this challenge, and hope you guys